Okay, welcome back. So now we're continuing with the um, we are continuing with this. Well, look at that. Something to do with the clipping, huh? The clipping distance or something. So what's the? Okay, let's turn this. Actually, turn this back on. Let's switch to view, and let's see something here. There we go. That way. Okay. That'll probably be alright for right now. So we're trying to get through this. Right now we're going through the whole thing about the improving your house. Adding a ground plane, we just did that. So now we're scaling with the pivot. Suppose you want to shrink the house by 50%. You can probably guess this would be done with the scaling tool. However, if you did so right now without the right pivot point and reduce the house would no longer rest on the ground. Check this by selecting the house and scaling to 0.2. Alright, so let us do that. Switch that. Let's do this. Okay. And let us scale it down to scale. Let's see. Well, okay, I don't need to do a free scale. Let's see. Let's do a 14 by 14 scale. 0.2. What? Control Z. House. Okay. 0.2. 0.2. 0.2. Look at that. Actually, I still don't know what that little shifting or glitching is in there. But, whatever. We no longer rest on the ground, right? Blender scales and rotates objects around a pivot point, which is by default located at the median point geometric center of the selected objects. In order to scale the house while keeping its space on the ground, you need the pivot point to be at ground level. Since the 3D cursor is at ground level, you can do this as follows. Okay, so first thing I need to do is boom, like that. Okay. Okay, tab. Select the house by left clicking into. Wait a minute. Tab. What's extra tools here? Annotate and measure. Interesting. Okay, I am in object mode. Okay, I get it. It's fine. It's cool. 3D view header. What's it say? Select the house. 3D view header. Select left mouse button on menu item object. Put the mouse over transform. Select the origin to 3D cursor from the pop-up menu. Set origin. Origin to 3D cursor. So origin to 3D cursor. Okay. Now at the center, if you scale the house, place where the 3D cursor will be located will remain fixed, and everything else will expand and contract from that point. The pivot is marked with an orange filled circle. Do not mistake it for a selected vertex. Okay, right, the little circle. Okay, so let's go to scale. Boom. 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 Neat. Okay. Edge selection. It's often used to select edges instead of vertices. Make sure Blender's in object mode. Select the house, press tab to enter edit mode, left click on the edge select mode, right. So the edge select. In edge select mode, edges appear as orange or white line segments when they're selected and as black segments when they're not. As you select the vertices in vertex select mode, you can now select and deselect edges in the same way as vertices. It's also the same for face select mode. So we've already did that, but we can do it again. This is white, 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 white. And the current selected edge is white, and the rest is orange. Okay. If you have difficulty selecting particular edges with mouse, maybe because those edges are double, this can happen if you cancel an extrude option and forget duplication. You switch to vertex select mode, select 3D view, select all vertices by pressing A, press bring up the specials, remove doubles, which we did. It's moved somewhere else, I forget now, but it kind of doesn't matter right now. Extruding edges. You can extrude edges in much the same way as you extrude vertices. To add an overhang to the roof of your house, first move the pivot point to the peak of the roof. Switch to vertex select. Select the top. Press Shift S. Oh. To bring up the snap. Wait, Shift S. Snap. Choose cursor to selected. Okay, cursor's there. Use the pivot menu located to the left of the 3D manipulator button. The 3D view header, change the pivot to 3D cursor. So, would this be the pivot point? This would be the pivot point. So, switch it to 3D cursor. Okay, did it do it? Alright, it did it. Okay. Now extrude by scaling from that point. Now extrude by scaling from that point. Switch to edge select mode. Edge select mode, got it. Select the 4 edges of the base of the roof. Okay. Oh. I could have actually did a loop select, but I forgot how to do that. I think I could have done that. I believe that's correct. But press E to activate the extrude tool. The effect you just made a copy of the 4 edges. Press S to scale the 4 edges uniformly from the pivot point. So E and S. What? As you move the pointer away from the pivot point, the roof of your house will expand. When the roof is the size you want, confirm by left mouse button or enter. Control space to toggle the manipulator on, then make overhang slanted by holding the left mouse button on the blue arrow that appears in the center of the house, dragging down. Okay. On the left. Make them slanted. Oh, I see. Inward, outward. cool. Okay, just did that. Actually, I could have put the visible so I could have seen everything, but that's okay. Face selection. It's often useful to select faces. Make sure you're in edit mode. Select the face. Select the face mode. Face select mode. The center of each face is marked with a small square. Faces appear as orange or stippled gray areas with orange edges when they're selected, depending on which face is active, and gray areas when they're not. Just to select the edges in edge mode, you can now select and deselect faces. If there are any faces selected, press A to select all faces. If no faces are selected, press A to select all faces. Yeah, so A, but then you have to AA because it's different here right now. To select a single face and deselect the rest, click the left mouse button on the center of the face. I forget how you deselect. Just, I guess, click off of it, huh? Alright. Toggle the selection for status of a face without affecting the rest. Shift right mouse button on the center face. What if I do shift? Oh, so I can deselect by doing that. Use these techniques to select all three faces. 2 roof and 1 wall on the X side of your house, as shown. Okay. Remember, the positive direction of the axis is the direction the arrows point to. Oops. Plus X, okay. So, select all 3 faces. So let's select that. Nope. Okay. Let's actually hide that there, like that. Okay, well, I guess I hit the end of the time. I wasn't paying attention again. And we'll continue this in the next video. So, talk to you then.